So last week AMD announced their new Zen 3 architecture, an architecture that's supposed to give you guys a 19% uplift in IPC versus Zen 2, as well as an overall uplift of about 24% in performance. Now, my goal of this video is to take these numbers as if they were accurate. So assume that these, the numbers that they showed us were 100% accurate, and then run you guys through like my thought process on why I'm actually kind of concerned about this new 5000 series of Ryzen chips. All right, so a quick recap for those of you guys who missed the event and haven't like went back and reviewed any other of the bajillion videos that are out there already on Zen 3. So AMD is going to be using the Ryzen 5 naming scheme for this generation of their Ryzen chips, and we will have 4 SKUs available come November 5th. So November 5th is the day that they are all releasing, and there's going to be 4 of them, there on release date, which is going to be the 6-core 12-thread 5600X, the 8-core 16-thread 5800X, the 12-core 24-thread 5900X, and the 16-core 32-thread 5950X. The 8, 12, and 16-core variants will not come with that typical Wraith, I think it's Wraith Prism CPU cooler, which is actually fine with me, but when you actually look at like overall value for these chips, it kind of hurts them a little bit. As for performance, clock for clock, these chips should be roughly 19% faster than Zen 2 and have an overall uplift of performance of about 24%. I already told you guys this earlier in this video, but that's what the general performance bump is supposed to be according to AMD. If you're looking for like a more thorough recap, like how it does in certain games or certain benchmarks, go ahead and check out, just search on YouTube, and you're gonna find a ton of videos that are recapping the entire event. Anyway, it sounds pretty good. So far, so good, right? Well, here's the bad news. Each SKU that is being released will have a $50 price hike over its predecessor. That means the 5600X is going to actually retail for $299. The 5800X is going to retail for $449. The 5900X is going to retail for $549. And the 5950X is going to retail for $799. Ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, that $50 price hike isn't that big of a hike, but you got to hear me out in my thought process and why it actually concerns me when it comes to the price. So comparing strictly to the 3000 series launch prices, so the prices that the 3000 series were launched at, and assuming all the SKUs have that same 24% uplift in performance that AMD has touted, which will probably not happen, the uptick in performance compared to the uptick in price is going to be as follows. So the 5600X is going to be 20% more expensive for that 24% uplift in performance. The 5800X is going to be 12% more expensive for that 24% uplift in performance. The 5900X is going to be 10% more expensive for 24% more performance. And then the 5950X is going to be the best value at 6.5% more expensive than its predecessor for 24% more performance. So it looks like as you move up the stack, you're going to get better value, which is completely true. I mean, you do get better value as you move up the stack, but it's not exactly what it seems, because those were the prices, and I was comparing them to the prices at the launch of the Ryzen 3000 series versus what the prices are now. So if you took the prices as they are now and you did the same exact comparison, that's when things get a little weird. So the 5600X is going to be 42.8% more expensive than the 3600X is right now. And again, you're going to be getting that 24% lift in performance. The 5800X is going to be 32% more expensive. The 5900X is going to be 27.9% more expensive. And then the 5950X is going to be 12.6% more expensive. And again, that's all for that 24, assuming that we're getting that 24% performance boost. So if you get a chip that's lower on the stack, so like a more budget chip, you're going to actually be paying a lot more in premium price because you're getting a 5000 series chip versus just getting a 3000 series chip. So you're not going to actually, when you pay to move up to the newest lineup, you're actually paying a substantial premium for it. So again, in every scenario besides the 5950X, you are spending a higher percentage of money than you are getting in performance gain. And again, this is assuming you are getting that 24% performance boost that was advertised in AMD's testing. And on the fact that the 8, 12, and 16 core variants don't include that CPU cooler I was mentioning earlier, and then you're realizing that, there's actually a bigger price hike than just $50 that they're advertising. Now, I totally think that you should have an aftermarket cooler if you have an 8, 12, or the 16 core chip anyway. But I do know some people who have like the stock cooler and they use an undervolt on their 3700X and they use an undervolt on their 3900X, and they're completely satisfied with the performance of their chips, and the stock cooler does perfectly fine for them. And I've had coolers fail me. I've had all-in-one water coolers fail me, and it's actually kind of nice to have a spare cooler around. So that's another reason why it's kind of nice to have, you know, the stock cooler come with the chip. So overall, I like the prospect of the new series if performance numbers are accurate. The event was awesome. I had a blast watching. If you were watching live stream with me during my, like, I had a live stream with it. I had a great time. I loved everything that AMD was showing. It was super cool to see that we have the idea that AMD might have the best all-arounder CPUs, from gaming to productivity. And honestly, I don't care that they actually hiked the price of these chips. I'm okay with that because that means that they're going to have more money to dump into R&D for better CPUs and GPUs moving forward. My concern is that the Ryzen 3000 series chips are a much better value option right now due to pricing, and the fact that the 3000 series chips are, you know, they're great performers. We all know that. We all love the 3000 series chips. So overall, for gamers that are trying to fit in a certain budget, whether it be $1,000 or $1,500, the premium they get to pay for the Ryzen 5000 series chips may not necessarily be worth it over the Ryzen 3000 series chips. That is until the 5000 series chips drop a little bit in price, or like a much more affordable options in the actual 5000 series lineup comes out, such as like the replacements for like the R3 3300X, the R5 3600 non-X, and then the R7 3700X. So when the replacements for those chips come out, if the price is down enough, then yeah, maybe that'd be a good option for, you know, people who have a budget in mind. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, sub button if you loved it, and check out my other content that should be popping up somewhere on this screen right now. If you have any questions about my thought process, be sure to drop them in the comments below. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.